Hey, I'm Amos, and the first time I was called a faggot, I was 5, and it was within the first couple months of my kindergarten year. I did a dance for the whole school to Aladdin, and when I went into the bathroom to change, one of the 5th graders or 4th graders said, like, "Oh, you're such a faggot." And I didn't know what that meant, but I knew that it was something really bad, and something that I should try to avoid being. And I think throughout all of my elementary school and middle school and most of my high school existence, I went back and forth with trying to be who I was, but trying to fit in and trying to not stand out. I ended up graduating high school a year early to get the hell out, and got out of the town I grew up in called Nyack, New York, which is a little town north of New York City, which is pretty conservative, but everyone thinks it's very liberal. Whenever I would go and complain that I was being harassed, they sort of weren't very interested, felt like they had bigger fish to fry, and that some gay kid wasn't worth their time, I think, or wasn't a big enough issue. To anyone out there watching this who's in high school, keep shouting, and keep standing up for yourself, and keep demanding that the adults around you take care of you, because they're supposed to right now. And I ended up finding mentors and teachers where I felt safe, and finding safe spaces. One of those for me was theater, and music.
Hi, I'm Bret Shuford.
And where are you from?
I grew up in Beaumont, Texas. Went to high school in Orange, Texas. And, it was not easy. I mean, I knew very early that I wanted to perform. And I have 3 brothers, all who were very typical boys. Like, they played soccer and baseball, and I watched Annie, and played with Care Bears, and skipped everywhere I went. And that just wasn't typical of Southeast Texas boys, so I definitely stuck out. I remember kindergarten. I remember during recess getting chased up a tree by some boys. I was 5, and they were calling me gay. And I remember...
Did you even know what that meant?
No, I had no idea. No idea what gay meant. For me, one of the things that I had to focus on at that time in my life, all through my childhood, was the positive and the things that I knew made me happy. And performing made me happy, so that was what I did. And I put 100% of my time into that. And I just knew one day I would get out of there. And I waited for that day, and the day came, and I got the hell out of there. One of the best lessons I ever learned was that if you really love people and you want them in your life, when it comes to coming out of the closet or dealing with telling somebody something about yourself that you're maybe afraid of or ashamed of, a lot of times the reason you're afraid to tell them is because they don't know anything about it. And that it's important, if you care about them, to educate them, to teach them, so that the ignorance that they have goes away.
So I grew up in an all-boy Catholic school called St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, which was a predominantly white school. So not only did I have to deal with the idea of being called a faggot or twinkle toes because I was a dancer, I also got the crazy racial remarks because I was different, and being different was automatically an issue. The one thing that always got me through was the fact that I knew that I had something that other people didn't, and I figured out kind of at a very young age that it was like, if I do this and I do what makes me happy, that's more important than your issues and what you have to say to me. So I became extremely involved in Varsity Singers, Swing Choir, the spring musical, everything that had anything to do with musical theater. And I became better and better and better at my craft because I had something to focus on, and I had a passion. And the passion wasn't only to, live in the passion, it was also to, escape. And it's really great to have an escape because you have something else, and it's yours, and it will always be yours.
What I think is important to know is that, in terms of things getting better, is that when I was in high school, grade school, I didn't even know what a gay person was. It just wasn't in our vocabulary. It was completely taboo. And having lived almost 2 or 3 lifetimes of the people who will probably be viewing this, I'm here to attest that things got so much better even in my lifetime, and they will in yours, because the things that are on TV now didn't exist. You know, celebrities weren't out. There weren't sitcoms or movies about being gay or having gay characters. It's slowly becoming very normalized, and I think by the time you're my age, you will be able to get married, and that will be a thing of the past. The gay rights movement, in many ways, will be a thing of the past. So it's going to get better. You just have to hang in there and trust that it will. And if you don't believe me, talk to a lot of other old people.
Was there a time in your life that you were teased or harassed?
Yeah, I got teased or harassed about 3 times by different people.
Yeah.
One time, like, I was at school, and I had a bike, and I was in 3rd grade, and I still had my training wheels on.
Uh-huh.
And a horn.
Uh-huh.
So the boys, there was like these 3 big boys who were trying to get on it, honk it, and like tell the whole school about my bike. And like I ran to the lunch monitor, and I told her, and she was just like, "Oh, they're jealous."
So what would you suggest to people?
Well, for people bullying, stop bullying.
Totally. And for the people that are being bullied?
Just like, don't cry like I did. Just try to like be strong.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just ignore them.
Great. And what's something fun that you've done since you were bullied?
I finally got my training wheels off.
You know, there was incredible bullying in my house by my father, and physical bullying, and then by my older brother, definite. And that, with my older brother, it's gone on to this day until I stopped it. And
How did you stop it?
Well, I just told him the truth. I told him the truth of how I felt, and I said, I won't allow you to be a part of my life anymore, because you now are 60-something years old and you're still bullying me and physically intimidating me. And that's the biggest way I found that stop the bully, is that if I tell the bully the truth, not about them, but about me, it sort of makes you bulletproof in a way. If I tell my truth, not yours, if I tell my truth, it generally stops people in their tracks.
And so how do you, once you've done that, once you've told the bully what to do, or how, you know, who they actually are, how do you feel, and how has life gotten better?
The initial feeling, first of all, is kind of fearful when you're saying it. After I say it, I feel this incredible relief. I feel this increase in character. I feel this increase in integrity. And I feel very proud of myself and very comfortable in my skin that I've defended myself without violence.
I think when you give people the opportunity to see who you are, whoever that is, then the real you comes out. And in terms of the stuff that's going on right now, you know, nobody should make any decision in a tremendous amount of pain. You have to step away from things. Everybody has pain. Everybody does. And adolescence is hard on everybody. And it's the same thing I wanted to say to the kids that murdered the kids at Columbine. It's like, just step away from the pain of what's going on and just try to take a step back. And I promise you, I swear, I know it gets better, but it does. You know, it does. You just have to breathe, be true to who you are. And for a lot of people, when you're in that stage of not knowing exactly what you want or who you are, that is not the time to make any huge decisions either, because you don't know who you are yet. You're figuring it out, you know. And if you can find a group of people, a tight-knit group of people that have your back, that's where you can flourish and you can start to see who you are. And like, again, for me, my crowd, and I didn't even do theater, I was playing sports and stuff. I think it's embracing each other. It's embracing who you are. And my group, for all of our geekness or our chubbiness or whatever, we all embraced each other as who we are. And honestly, I'm 41 now, and now, at least with online stuff, we are all still, you know, talking to each other and having a good time and sharing our lives with each other. And everybody can get through adolescence, hopefully, and get to a point where they can do that. And so, oh God, people I knew that were tortured about things, people tortured about weight, tortured about what their sexual orientation was, people with eyes, whatever. It doesn't. You will find people in your life that will embrace you for who you are as long as you're true to who that is.